guys. Sparked up. Candle just closed over London.
I'm ready green already. I started off green.
Yeah, this candle started off green.
Know what that mean?
Right into Asia supply.
What's this Asia supply? It's this one. The
6077.
Right there. This right here. It's this top right here.
Oh yeah, that's already there.
Alright. That is damn, that's nice. That is supply.
Yeah, this whole 77 to 80 is supply. 4 hour zone. If it cross this, then it can cross 82. I mean, like I said, that's a decent trade here today.
Because it can take over.
Yeah, because
it'll get past Friday. You think it get past this and this? That's London. That's Asia high right there.
Asia high.
And Friday high. Yeah, from here.
How you got Asia high at 94?
Right here. The 7 o'clock candle high. It's 94. Just, yeah, if I'm wrong, let me know. That was a 7 o'clock candle.
1900. Oh, this MES. What the fuck?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Hold on real quick. Now you get started.
Damn, that shit. Damn, very cool.
Yeah, 1900. 7 o'clock candle for last night was 78.50.
Not 18. That's what.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay. Alright, cool.
Alright, good.
That's
Alright,
why
man,
I'm
man.
fucking battling for
I'm like,
this
what
trade.
the fuck?
I'm battling for it because I'm like.
Oh, because you like London high, then you can
London
get
to
the 94.
Asia.
Oh yeah, that would have been
that
hard.
Been sweet.
That would have
and
been
that's
hard.
what you saying. It got to cross this. I'm like, why the fuck you keep saying that?
He's like, oh, that is supply. All right, cool. Alright,
Alright, cool now.
Alright,
I
we
was
good.
I was at the 1800.
That's where we was missing. That's why we was missing each other this morning.
Yeah, because I sat my. That's my fault, bro. I sat my damn shit on the wrong candle.
Yeah,
I'm
it's cool. You
trying,
still
bro.
you getting your shit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, you got it broken down nice.
9:30.
And it takes for real. Just
11:30.
Just keep checking your time. It take time before you just doing it
Do it
automatic. You feel me?
Dang, bro, that shit.
Just take your time.
Shit always fucking gets me. My shit always be off every day.
Yeah, because even mine, good check on that because mine was a little bit lower than it was supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so 78.50. All right, guys, we live, man. Price trading in the same range as yesterday. I ain't finna do nothing crazy. FOMC tomorrow. It's summer. Yeah, so y'all boys trade safe, man. I'm watching it. We'll see what happens. Really eyeing based off my 4 hour. What's 10:03? Based off my 4 hour, the low of this 4 hour, we did close as a COM to the upside with a low of 45. Based off my 4 hour analysis, I'll be buying 45 if price can get down there, and that's also, that's also Asia London zone as well.
What? 6:17. Alright. Let's just slowly go through our run line real quick.
I ain't got my books.
Yeah,
I did it all digital.
you did it digital.
I mean, this everything on this chart is my run plan, so
Yeah.
it's all good. Let me just notate. All right, cool. So
What key levels are we taking next?
60-40 is gonna be our key level. Correlate.
That's Thursday low.
Thursday low correlate with the
Thursday low on ES, and then on MES Thursday low.
it's 34.50. I got it notated. Yeah.
Alright, cool.
So Asia low, London low. We got at 44.25. Asia low we got at 51. And our target zone is 40 to 50. 4 hour zone.
COM green 4. 15, 4, 7. Man, it's literally the same limit as yesterday.
It is.
Yeah. 60,
What was it?
60. Literally, this is the same shit from yesterday. I'm going through and 60-50 sat limit long. It's the same as yesterday.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so that's literally staying the same. Let me share screen. We are live in here. Everybody that comes through. trade zone. Got an NTZ. It's up, down, up, down.
Yeah, NTG gonna be really 50, 51 Asia low up into this 77. I wanted to wick out down here, get to this 40, this 45 to 40 zone.
Alright,
But it's really this man from Asia. You see it right here, from Asia to London. This whole kerfuffle. We ain't gotta be a part of that.
Asia low to Asia high, pretty much.
Yeah, that whole kerfuffle. We ain't gotta be a part of that.
Alright, so
man.
I'm gonna say NTZ is Asia high to Asia low. Yeah, use that box. Asia high, Asia low. And that's
All right, number one location.
6051 to 67.
It's me going through my run plan live, guys. You feel me? I'm gonna turn on my boy Meet Kevin so we can get this news as well.
Yeah, let's get this news.
Softer than expected travel demand.
All right,
Kind of believe this.
rolling.
Softer than expected travel demand.
Nah, that's good. I got
I think
that
that's,
one here.
you know, one of the things that you're seeing in the economy right now is there's a lot of hope. A lot of hope
Can you
in
do,
the economy that
I'll get to
liberation in April was
Can,
just a flash in the pan.
Do it like this.
You know, thanks to tacos or whatever. Oh, let's
All right, good morning.
I thought they were gonna say something.
10 o'clock
All right,
Eastern on
logging
this
into the
Tuesday,
100K
June
funded account,
17th.
guys.
President Trump has returned from the G7. He left early. He called a meeting
up,
in the Situation
our live
Room and
stream.
warned everyone to evacuate Tehran immediately. Now, China is echoing those calls and evacuating its citizens from both Iran and Israel.
Yeah, niggas
Israel's
need to
defense
just
minister is now
evacuate.
warning
Lord
Iran's
Jesus.
supreme leader
Pray for peace,
that he
boys.
could have a, quote,
Maybe
fate
way to
similar
make,
to Saddam Hussein. We'll bring you all the updates as they come in. Well, look at the markets. We've got some red ink on the screen, but not that much. Dow's off 100, Nasdaq down 72. The 10-year Treasury, that yield is still below 4.5%, moving down a little, 443. Bitcoin, approximately $105,000 per coin. Oil, not doing very much at all, up a buck at 73.50. We just
Wait a sec. This is really interesting. I didn't know. I didn't see that China was also jumping in on this evacuation call. So I want to see that.
Of uncertainty. Builders doing two things to address that. 37% are cutting prices. 62% are offering price incentives to get you to buy.
I got it. Thank you, Lauren. All right, folks, now this. Clearly, something is going on. President Trump leaves the G7 meeting early. He's back at the White House. A security meeting has been called for the Situation Room. That's where the president watches the action unfold. Action of some sort in Iran appears imminent. The choice for Iran is clear. Give up your nuclear program or it will be blown up. This is surely the end game for a nuclear Iran. And here's the backdrop to all of this.
I think
The Israelis have
that's
killed the
an
top
attachment to
Iranian
that.
general.
But
He'd
it
only
pulled
been in the
up
job for 4
YouTube
days. His
studio
predecessor was
fucking
killed last
before.
Friday. Tehran, the capital, in turmoil.
4 days.
Intermittent internet and phone service. The TV station bombed just as an anchor was on the air. Communications are broken down. The public's in panic mode. They don't know what's happening. Gas stations closed, food stores running very low. Huge traffic jams as people scramble to get out. Trump urges everyone in Tehran to evacuate, quote, before it's too late. That's ominous. For those of us who are sickened by the very idea of an Iranian nuclear weapon, there is cause for some optimism. If Fordo is taken out, the world can breathe a sigh of relief. Iran is the principal cause of instability, terror, and war in the Mideast. This is an opportunity to rid the world of a very dangerous threat. The fact that the president is in the Situation Room implies that military action is in view. It could be our B-2 bombers delivering 30,000-pound mass ordnance penetrators, otherwise known as bunker busters. That would be the direct involvement of American forces. The president will be watching to see if Iran launches its remaining missiles at American bases. He's watching in real time. His response will be in real time too. Another aircraft carrier is on the way, adding to our military power in the region. Steve Forbes joining me now.
Yeah, that's the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, and it sort of echoes a lot of what we're seeing right now. I mean, there are rumors circulating that Thursday will make the pager bombing seem like a cheap appetizer against Iran. Remember when they smuggled in pagers to terrorist officials like leaders of Hezbollah, and all of a sudden there was a coordinated explosion of these Iranian-backed proxies in pagers that they had in their pockets or were holding in their hands or whatever. Israel's now claiming that is just an appetizer. That Thursday is also an interesting day, given that it's a day that the U.S. stock market will be closed for Juneteenth. It's also a day where the Iranian stock market will be closed, though that's expected to be closed until at least next week. There are reports of 14 additional U.S. Air Force tankers moving into the region. This is in addition to assets that were already moved into the area within just the last few days. Trump has also pinned his quote tweet to leave Iran or Tehran as soon as possible. In addition to that, while there's talk about potentially strikes using bunker busters on like this facility here, Fordo, China is now urging its citizens to leave Iran as soon as possible through land border crossings. It looks like we may all be focused on this Fordo facility, but it seems possible that there may be other enrichment sites in the capital as well that are hidden in places that maybe we're just not aware of or nobody's talking about yet, because for some reason everybody wants people to leave Tehran, keeping in mind that Trump is saying, hey, people were talking about him returning to the White House because of peace negotiations, and his response to that is, people have no idea why I'm returning. In other words, he's going to the Situation Room, like Varnes just said, to see some crazy crap unfold. We have no idea what that's going to be yet, but we do know that Iran just issued a directive for all medical staff in the country to return from any kind of vacations that they're on, which seems to be, a little bit of a red flag, or maybe a glaring red flag, that there's some kind of expected mass casualty event potentially coming soon. The next 72 hours are rumored to be the most concerning now for Iran, and of course what's going on between Iran and Israel. On top of that, there is some rumoring that U.S. intelligence didn't believe that Iran could have a bomb for up to 3 years from now, that even if they had the material, it would take 3 years to develop it. However, Israel believes that they were just days away from having enough.
I don't have this trade on my plan.
Which one? Oh, then we won't take that one. The one that's the upper one. It ain't really much on it anyways.
Yeah, how much juice is it on the squeeze? Let's see.
I mean, bro, it's 7.
Like, cause I would have to get in. Honestly, I have to get in at closing candle over 83 at Friday intraday high.
Yeah, from 83 you only got to 98 before you hit Friday high, and then you have to get confirmation over Friday high. Then you got to be out by.
Yeah, this is a 2-to-1. 2-to-1 on Friday intraday high.
Yeah. Are we in the middle of yesterday's room?
Yeah. We're on the upper edge of it now, but our COM closed in the middle. 60-40 is the middle.
Yeah, and then I mean, based off the 4 hour, how far can it go? Just based off the line charts from the 4, we got a fucking serious body top right here at 98 at Friday high. And then
Then you got
what's
anything
above
over
us?
that is fucking looks.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you got Friday, you got yesterday high and last week high, 61-28, all shadows.
4 hour did go green. Go red. Made a wick and then came back. 4 hour, and it crossing this 78 is substantial, but it's going in the traffic though. Have to take it over 83. I see the 83, and then you could possibly get it to 108. That is true. Everything's pretty much correlated to me.
NASDAQ is headed towards Friday high supply as well. It closes over that, then it's getting the yesterday high for sure. And that'll be the same thing that we're doing. Alright, no R, no BO. 7 and 12. 12 only. Any more keywords? No R. No orbs, no breakout. 7 and 12.
Let me read
Risk.
that for you. So no breakouts on daily levels, no 15-minute ORB, and must set limit 5 Ps off the low, so long signals on the 4 hours.
Alright, cool.
Sorry.
Now you get
organized. Can you just probably go ahead and set that limit at 40 for guidance, boss? Where we at our tight zone. You don't gotta let it get filled, but it's just same thing we did yesterday. Set the limit. Just so we can have our attention on it, right?
10, 2, be like about what, 33,
Yeah, like 32.
32 for stuff. Like that. Alright, we set it up. That's the only good trade. It's like you look on my, that's the 100K funded for real. Just set a limit at 60.45. Asia low zone, London low zone, and also our Thursday low zone, and our lower at 4 hours. So this is the best situation for real. So we can get, even with this, we can get it down here. You can get this shit at fucking 45 with 12 points. Stop under 33. You might have a possibility of taking it to where it's at right now. That's even that. It's a 2.6 R. Yeah, because on my 4 hour, this shit going right into supply. You can't buy that shit with no clear conscience.
Yeah.
Gotta be over 80. If it get over 82, it will be valid, but for real, a valid
Yeah,
2 to 1.
everything's in the same situation. Nasdaq's crossing Asia high, going into a Friday high.
What about YM? Where's YM going into? Because that's the one that's looking like it got room to run. It got to be going into some type of supply.
Thursday lows at
it sure is.
42.910.
We got a supply zone that's going into right here.
42.9. Or right now.
Yeah, 42, 42.8.
42.820 right here.
I got 42.855 around that area. Yeah, that's right where it's kind of in a little shallow at right now. All right, cool. So I'm gonna mark that. Golden 4 hours on there. That's the one that was showing like it was a free rate train, but it just went right into supply like we doing. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. That's a plus on my process. Price is trading choppy. It's summer, so might not get that fill, but that's the one I gotta get. COM on the 4 hour off 40. That's the one I got to get. Hopefully we get a turnaround up here and then we can track a downtrend. But yeah, it's based off my 4 hour. Over 82, we're looking at something, but right here, everything's going right into supply. That's a good buy. It's like that change of move candle, but going right into that supply zone, that red penalty box. I can't take that one. Gotta take the bottom. If we're trading in a range, I gotta take the bottom of the range. Yeah. Alright, so that's a grade A plus. Let's focus on 40, boys. That's it.
Yeah. Session times. Asia limit, high low, 4 YM. Everything's going trading the same.
Yeah, see, I got that too. Asia high.
Everybody's at Asia high.
Correct. The YM's the only one that's over Asia high. But it's going right into this 4 hour zone right here. 850. Alright, cool, man. Let's pop on some news. Sit back and see what this summer market's finna do. Staying stiff at 60.40. That's it, man. You hear me? Alright, we
As soon as possible.
Watch Kevin get this news in.
Israel conflict may spread wider instability in the Middle East, basically spiral out of control. If the conflict between Israel and Iran continues to escalate or even spill over, the other countries in the Middle East will inevitably bear the brunt. So this could be Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Afghanistan, could spread over to Pakistan, India, going the other direction. China will continue to maintain communication with relevant parties and promote talks for peace so as to prevent more turmoil in the region. The comments follow China's earlier condemnation of Israel's attack on Iran. Its stance contrasts with that of the U.S., who won't join a proposed Group of 7 statement urging a de-escalation of the conflict. China could potentially act as a peacemaker in the Middle East, having played the role in 2023 between Iran and Saudi Arabia. China opposes Israel's attack on Iran with military force in violation of international law. However, I think they realize it's happening, and that's why they're suggesting, hey, if you're a citizen in Iran, it's time to leave. This was the, here's a zoomed out photo of the state media building getting attacked yesterday in Tehran. Iran fired several waves of drones and missiles over the last 24 hours, while Israel continued hitting Tehran, killing one more senior military official and setting the state television complex ablaze. As we just heard Varn say, you've got people who were just appointed to new jobs because so many leaders in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard or the political apparatus, such as chief of intelligence or otherwise, have been killed. They've had to appoint new people to those jobs, and apparently now those new people are also getting taken out, really creating this wave of terror for anybody to operate for the Iranian government. In fairness, is also a state sponsor of terror. So this has now led to calls from people like Tom Massey for Donald Trump not to enter this war, with not only threats, but Bernie Sanders writing up a resolution calling on Donald Trump not to go to war. Now, a resolution doesn't do much. The War Powers Act would allow Donald Trump to operate for up to 60 days. Donald Trump just now also mentions there's not much in the mood to negotiate with Iran at the moment. This doesn't sound very good. AOC, by the way, joining with Tom Massey calling against the potential imposition of war between Donald Trump, and Iran, and some kind of broader involvement here. This also somewhat rare. You don't usually see AOC joining some of your more conservative lawmakers. Very interesting. So, there are also now memes circulating that Pete Hegseth is sharing all the war plans on Signal, and we'll know soon, obviously. Maybe not the best time for jokes, but a lot of people quite concerned that over the next few days we'll have some form of escalation, and it could happen on a day that the U.S. stock market is closed. Here's just an example, by the way, of a crater, an impact crater from one of the Iranian ballistic missiles. Shows you just how deep some of these missiles can dig their holes, if you will, explode their holes. Israeli officials state the reason for a decreased number of missile launches by Iran over the last 24 hours is due to continued strikes by the Israeli Air Force against surface-to-surface missiles. Now, this is something we've talked about before as well, is, in my opinion, every time Iran deploys their missile launchers, they give up their location, and they become relatively easy targets for the Israeli Defense Force and Israeli Air Force to essentially take out these launching facilities. This makes it more desirable for Iran to lob fewer volleys at a time. The problem with launching fewer volleys at a time, here, by the way, is one of those surface-to-surface missile bases. The problem with launching fewer at a time is you don't launch enough rockets to really overwhelm the Israeli Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow 2, Arrow 3 system. And so this sort of weakens the efficacy of what Iran is doing in the first place, which, you know, here are some other mobile batteries that are being destroyed by Israel and Israeli airstrikes. This is probably why Iran is having a really hard time sending more weaponry in a coordinated manner against Israel. The goal historically is that Iran would have air defenses and be able to launch hundreds of missiles at the same time, hoping to overwhelm the Iron Dome joint system and breach the Iron Dome with maybe, you know, a 5 to 10% success ratio. That has been a lot more challenging for Iran in the most recent days here, mostly because you're in a position of Israel taking out these strikes the moment they see them. All right. That said, a lot of calls being reiterated right now for people to leave Tehran, and that's exactly what we've seen over the last 24 to 48 hours in terms of footage of people leaving Tehran. Talk about gas stations running out of gas, clogged highways, stores closing, whatever. Israeli military also right now says they're detecting missiles being launched by Iran again towards Israel, but again, these seem to be sort of these piecemeal attacks that keep trending towards Israel and end up getting shot down. The United States and the British Royal Air Force also clearly involved with the defense of Israel at the moment. Let's take a peek at some of your comments here. Let's see here. Orange Man looking really bad right now. Iran can say no oil for the world and oil specs. You know, something to keep in mind about oil and United States oil independence is in 2010, the United States only produced about 29% of the oil that we used, which was pretty embarrassing. That has since moved in the last 15 years up to 65%. So about 65% of the oil that we use in America comes from America. Now that's fantastic because it's a sign of energy independence, meaning that a lot of this Iranian oil is actually going to countries like Russia and China, and we are much less dependent on this Middle Eastern oil than we used to be, certainly back in the 2000s when, we were willing to go to war for energy certainty, with fracking today really helping move us into a significant state of independence. The fracking boom really blew up in 2010. That was under the Obama days.
All right, guys, got our location set. I'm about to set got limits down here, so I'm gonna set an alert just in case something decides to fucking happen. But it's summer, so I got it. Straight sick, guys. And it's Mac, man. PC guy. Let me set alert on 50 for me. 60, 50. 60, 50. I got 55, 60, 60, 55, and 50.
Yeah. 60, 55, 55.
Alright, alert set, man. Turn my boy Kevin back on. About to smoke one. See if something happens.
Know if he enters this war, we are only missing the false flag. And this is where a lot of people are questioning how to what extent would Donald Trump get involved? Is he simply getting back to the Situation Room to wait for the moment that Israel strikes? Are we handing bunker busting bombs to Israel to take out Fordo and potentially, buried enrichment facilities under Tehran, tunneled enrichment facilities under Tehran somewhere. It's possible. It's entirely possible that enrichment facilities have been tunneled under historic sites in Tehran that Tehran believes there's no way the international community will end up hitting. It's also possible that it's just talk that ultimately turns into some form of negotiated peace deal over the next few days as Iran realizes that they're in an unwinnable situation. Quite a few concerns here in terms of what is ultimately going to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of speculation and very little actual data. Well, facts, I should say. Air raid sirens now going off in Tel Aviv, and it'll be unsurprising to see some kind of broader. Kind of curious to see what's going on over here on the Fox station. This person is trying to go somewhere where they can get better internet access. But anyway, we'll keep a close eye on exactly what's going on over here over the next few days. But China echoing Trump's calls to evacuate Tehran, not great. So we'll see what happens in the coming 72 hours.
This is not the U.S. at war. This is the U.S. supporting its trusted ally.
Good. Dr. Ahmed, thanks very much for joining us in a difficult situation. We do understand that. We'll let you go to the bomb shelter and move on. But thanks for being with us, Doctor. Appreciate it very much. Now this.
As we got the alert of air raid sirens going off, here you go.
Early exit from the G7 to deal with the conflict in the Mideast. Mark Meredith joining us. Has the president met with his National Security Council yet?
Stu, the president got back about an hour before sunrise. The White House has not given us a new updated schedule for the day, but we are hoping to get some what's been going on, because as you've been talking about throughout this hour, something is going on in Iran. And Stu, how sobering was that moment just right there? You had a guest in the middle of the conversation having to go to a bomb shelter because of the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. The president has been speaking so much about what's happening. He told reporters earlier today on Air Force One that there is no possibility that Iran should have a nuclear weapon.
Do you think if the U.S. got involved militarily, it would actually wipe out Iran's nuclear program? Or where's your assessment of that?
Their program's going to be wiped out long before then. But they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
So the president was in Canada just a few hours ago. Statement saying Israel has the right to defend itself, and G7 leaders all agree that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. But there was a lot of back and forth from the U.S. side of things before they signed on to the statement. They wanted to get the language right. The president's also publicly criticizing his French counterpart, French President Emmanuel Macron, after Macron told reporters that the U.S. is looking to get an immediate ceasefire to stop the bloodshed. Trump pushed back overnight.
I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. There was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're looking for better than a ceasefire.
Nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. Oh, that's the situation you're dealing with right now with Iran. It does seem like Donald Trump is quite concerned about an escalation that's about to take place.
Religious theocracy. They're built around an extreme version of Islam. They want to destroy Saudi Arabia and the Sunni branch of Islam. They want to kill and come after us. That's what their whole country is built upon.
While South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is certainly calling for more action, not every Republican agrees. We even heard today, Stu, Thomas Massey of Kentucky, a Republican House member, says he wants to make sure that it's only Congress that will be able to allow additional military action to continue. Stu.
All right, Mark, we got it. Thanks very much. A sidebar story. An online pizza tracker may have predicted Israel's...
I love the pizza tracker.
Explain this one to us.
Well, so much for classified and clandestine, right? According to the Pentagon Pizza Report, that's an account, by the way, on the X platform, pizza joints near the Pentagon were hopping on the evening of June 12th. The theory being that something is up if an unusual number of personnel are working late at night and ordering fast food. There's lots of speculation that the Pentagon Pizza Report tipped everyone off to the start of the Israel-Iran conflict. And by the way, there's history to back it up, believe it or not. The Guardian newspaper reported that pizza deliveries to the Pentagon surged right before the U.S. invasion of Panama in 1989 and Operation Desert Storm in 1991. Of course, all of this is on a basis. That's need with a K.
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? Oh, you did.
I did.
You did it.
I had to.
Yeah, you just had to. Oh.
Both feet.
Jumped in with both feet there. Still digging the hole. All right, look at the markets, please. And we've come way back. Look at that. We're only down 50 for the Dow, 60 for the Nasdaq. Started off with a lot of red ink. Not much now. There you go. Laura's looking at the movers. Show me big JetBlue down 3%, $4 a share.
Cutting, reducing some of their off-peak flying, getting rid of those unprofitable routes, and parking some jets. Travel demand is weak.
Circle, they made a huge splash when they
June 5th,
still doing well.
went public at $31 a share. $157, June 5th till June the 17th. How much money people are making? Is the Senate, when the market closes, will vote on the Genius Act, which regulates stable coins, and they issue them.
You're making money if you're in it and you saw this coming.
But if you didn't, you're saying, ugh, like so many of us.
Right. Chevron.
Yes, I know they drill for oil, but they're now looking to mine for lithium right here in the U.S. They have acquired acres in Texas and Arkansas. The stock is up.
Branching out, all right? Thanks very much, Laura. Coming up, the uber-liberal actor Sean Penn says he will not visit President Trump at the White House.
The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no. So it's a long flight.
Really?
Like, I can't even get his words out. I don't really care.
The risk, the cost of consumer goods. So again, Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. This is a terrible regime. It prosecutes, imprisons, tortures its citizens. But there are no good responses here, and that's the dilemma for this administration. And I work with Republicans and Democrats. It's been their dilemma as well.
Israel's been fairly open about what its goals are, though, which is to destroy the nuclear capability and also the missiles, which Iran is using against an Israeli population, civilian population right now. And Trump has been pretty clear about the goals as well. I think one other piece of it, David, as you talk about what Aaron, about the upshot and where this goes, is that that Prime Minister Netanyahu has been calling on the Iranian people, as their regime has been weakened, to rise up.
It's a good point, Sarah, but again, and would I like to see the Iranian regime change? Absolutely. It's autocratic, it's extractive. The Iranian public has been suffering. They want more openness, more connection to the world. But regime change in the Middle East, at least in recent years, occurs only under one of two circumstances. In the case of Egypt and Tunisia, you get hundreds of thousands, millions of people out in the streets, which forces the military into the situation of whether they're going to fire on their publics, or in the case of Mubarak and Ben Ali, they lost power. Or in the recent case of Syria, you have a well-organized, formerly affiliated group with Al-Qaeda.
Some news now that Tesla plans to shut down Model Y and Cyber production over the week of July 4th. Usually they do that for some form of upgrades to assembly lines or whatever, so we'll see.
I don't see either of those.
Still waiting for those missiles to end up hitting the Iron Dome in Israel. Watching for updates on this now.
They have a legitimate existential problem with the Iranians. There's no question about it. But look at the last 18 months. The most capable, competent, determined military in the world, probably, given scale, constraint, has spent the last 18 months, according to the Prime Minister's calculation, trying to achieve total victory in Gaza.
Sounds like a total of potentially 8 rockets.
Are alive, half of whom are dead, still suffering. Hamas, which has been hollowed out as a military organization, still is the most important influential Palestinian actor in an area roughly twice the size of the District of Columbia. So I have to say, watching the Middle East, helping U.S. policymakers for 27 years, it's a complicated place, and it really rarely produces Hollywood endings or either black or white solutions. And I fear on this one, we're going to have to live in the gray zone for some time to come.
Okay, Aaron David, thank you very much. Pleasure having you on with your perspective.
Thanks for having me.
When we come back this morning, we mentioned solar stocks getting hurt. Details emerge on the Senate's changes to that Republican bill. We'll talk about what lawmakers are proposing next. Later on, we're going to be joined by the CEO of nuclear power company Oklo as shares hover inches from some new all-time highs. As we've erased some early losses here, Dow's down 40. Back in a moment.
All right. Very interesting. So... Oh, did somebody translate this? That'd be interesting.
SGA, NBA officiating is a joke, and they...
Well, hold on. I don't know if that's right.
They lower his shoulder to whoever he wants.
No, I don't know. This is... Yeah, that's parody. Okay, that's fine. All right. So... What do we got? Tesla, a little bit of a production pause coming July 4th. Again, TBD what it is. Usually they end up stating it's for upgrades. Elon Musk this morning did post that he had a clean drug test, but he's had clean drug tests for like the last 10 years, and it seems a pretty undeniable fact at this point that Elon uses drugs. However, he gets pretty damn clear heads-ups of when his drug tests are going to be. So, I don't think that really matters. Honestly, I don't think anybody who's investing in Tesla cares if Elon's on drugs. But using it as a way to say that, oh, he passed a urine test, he's been clean the last 7 days. Using it as a way to say that he never uses drugs is also not logical. But again, I don't know how much that matters. So far, green today, really just circle, a little bit of Etsy here, a lot of red across the board. You've got CoreWeave trying, Bitcoin's barely holding on to 105. Still pretty good though. I mean, compared to like where we were in April, where we were down at like 79. You know, you seem to be in an A-OK position here. Here's Oklo. Let's see some of the activity around Oklo. It's possible that Oklo could also be getting sort of renewed enthusiasm today because of the cuts to companies, solar credits like Enphase, Sunrun. I mean, look at Sunrun. Sunrun's down 40% today. This is the lowest this has been. I mean, now Sunrun is almost trading for less than $1 billion cap. It's
from the first move.
No cap. Wow. Somebody writes, Elon is a tweeter and a tweaker. That's interesting. Hair samples keep drug evidence? Yeah, but he's not required to do that. He's only required to do, random urine tests. They are performance enhancing. Yes.
Looking to cut more flights and reduce costs on softer than expected travel demand, stock down 3.5%. Eli Lilly announcing plans to buy gene editing company Verve Therapeutics, paying about $1 billion up front, with another $300 million contingent on Verve achieving certain clinical milestones. And then we mentioned solar stocks. They are absolutely plummeting 20, 30, 40% after a Senate panel proposed a full phase out of solar and wind energy.
Caught up at 20,066.
Part of changes suggested to President Donald Trump's sweeping big, beautiful bill. And with that, let's get to Emily Wilkins in Washington with the latest, Emily, on the Senate version of the bill, what's in it, and how folks are reacting.
Hey, Sarah. Well, at this point, the reaction hasn't been all positive. I mean, the Senate version of this multi-trillion tax bill, it just dropped yesterday, and it is already in trouble with both House and Senate Republicans raising concerns about some of the provisions. Some, like Senator
Somebody just donated $5 to say, as a Republican, you could expect a Democrat landslide. Would not be surprised if they gain both chambers and impeach Trump.
Yeah, we got a short from.
But how many votes do you need to impeach? Don't you need a supermajority to impeach? I don't think you're getting going to get a supermajority. I could see them trying now.
That more spending cuts are going to be needed.
Yeah, if we didn't
They
get
talked about the only numbers that count are 218 and 51. Again, that's not the type of goal setting we need when we're $37 trillion in debt on the road.
Making his wick right now.
The Senate measure makes dozens of tweaks to the House bill, and that includes making.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So, all right, cool. We got a downtrend. This candle just closed. Got a sell candle right up here. Change of move. Got this identified.
YM gave a nice sell candle.
YM did the same thing. NQ did the same thing. YM did stand on top of Asia high though, while we broke under Asia and London high. Yeah, so
1900 actually
they got some correlation.
1900 hour high on YM is 42,805. 42,807.
Oh yeah, you're right.
1900 hour high.
You're right.
Yeah, so we're under it as well.
Nice, good call.
It held London high. It held London high.
Held London high.
Held London high.
Good call. Had that shit too low. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so we both closed under Asia high. Everything closed under Asia high. YM still over London.
Yeah, NQ might be the one that closed under both.
Both of us closed under both. ESN and Q.
Yep. Alright, cool. Dang, so oh yeah, we did. Alright, so YM still the strongest.
YM still the strongest, holding over London high.
got a
You
lot.
short up here, YM will hit fucking London high and
You'll be
smack
out of there.
everybody. You'll be out of there. Alright, good. Alright, good. Story's building, man. Still looking like what? So what time is it?
It's 10.
Okay, it's still early.
Yeah, 10:45.
All right, cool.
Now,
So we'll
of
see.
clean energy tax credits compared to what was in the House bill. So things are a little bit better for solar and wind, although not as good as it would have been before these policies. And the Senate bill also would blunt the impact of that so-called revenge tax on foreign countries and investors, giving countries more time to potentially negotiate something with the U.S. Now, the text that Senate Republicans leased did not contain a final proposal for that state and local deduction cap. Senators have said, though, it will be lower than that $40,000 proposed by the
Probably
House.
10.
And that has provoked a group of Republican House members from high-tax states to threaten to sink the Senate bill if it even goes $1 under that agreed-upon $40,000 cap.
40.
Congress is going to need to move quickly if they want to finish this by July 4th. And Sarah will be keeping a very close eye on what the next steps are going to be and how senators react when they meet today.
Emily, thank you. Emily Wilkins in D.C. Let's get a news update now. Courtney Reagan has that for us. Courtney.
Hi, good morning, David. A Russian missile and drone attack on Ukraine killed at least 15 people overnight, according to local officials. They say more than 150 were injured in the bombardment, which heavily damaged a 9-story apartment building in Kyiv. It is the deadliest attack on the Ukrainian capital this year. Former Senator Bob Menendez surrendered himself today to a federal prison in Pennsylvania to serve 11 years on bribery charges. A jury found the New Jersey Democrat.
At the same time where
we are
practically
well,
right now.
Close the Straits of Hormuz,
do that
am I
to more
right?
politicians.
Well, that's the biggest concern I think we should have, and why we should throw a caution flag about what this is going to do to oil prices. If there were something to happen in the Straits of Hormuz, about 25% of world oil production goes through the Straits of Hormuz, fully a quarter of oil production, and that could have a significant price increase if that were to happen. But it certainly isn't in Iran's interest to shut down the Straits of Hormuz, because all of their oil flows through the Straits. So I think is going to win out, and hopefully there won't be a conflict that moves into the Straits at this point.
Israel says citizens are permitted to leave protected areas.
Price increase for American consumers.
Nobody wants the price of oil to go up, do they? I mean, China, Russia, North Korea, you name it, they don't want the price of oil to go up.
Well, fortunately, as the #1 producer in the world, we produce about 13.5 million barrels of oil a day. What that means is that we import a lot less than we used to just about a decade ago.
And what that has meant for American consumers is that we have much more stable, have these crises going on in major production regions. We are a beneficiary of that incredible innovation that has occurred as a consequence of the fracking revolution that started in 2005. And it gives us, as a country, a lot more flexibility when we're dealing with these foreign policy crises in the Middle East.
Mike Summers, we are reassured. Thank you. Good luck. Ashley, come on back in, please, because I believe Israel's just released new statistics from its conflict with Iran. What numbers do you have?
Yes. In the last 24 hours, according to Israel's Ministry of Health, 154 people have been taken to Israeli hospitals since last night. Also, we should mention in its most recent update, Iran's health ministry said at least 224 people have been killed and more than 1,200 injured in Israeli airstrikes since Friday. Israel says at least 24 people were killed over that same period. Meantime, Israel's energy ministry says it does not expect a shortage.
Yeah, I see people in, like, there's footage of people, well, I mean, like, aftermath photos, basically, of bomb shelters that just, like, basically collapsed on people, and, I mean, it's really sad. I don't know if they're designed for shrapnel or direct hit for, but, you know, people are also dying, or maybe people just aren't going into the bomb shelters, but at least from some of the images you see on what's going on with bomb shelters, they're not foolproof. I think it's possible some of them could be like the in-home ones. It's sad.
We're blaming the people who voted for Trump for why he won. And it makes no sense to me.
That's logic, and that is wisdom in sports as applied to... Angie, the Home Services website, will now use AI to help you find a contractor or a cleaner. How's that work? Co-founder Angie Hicks joins me next.
Alrighty then. Let's jump in over to CNBC. See what Sarah's got for us. Nope, nothing. Alright. Still looking for some updates on the Tesla news. What's going on there? Let me see if I can get it. Looks like...
I mean, that's all it is right now.
No. A little quiet right now on that pause, so I'll have to wait and see, I suppose. What is this? What are we watching? We're watching a nun. I don't know, for some reason, the kind of like show you watch on like a Saturday morning, and you're just bored. Alright. Here we go. Let's actually get where we're trying to go.
Injuring more than 150 others. The main barrage demolishing a building in the capital city of Kyiv. It was the deadliest attack on the capital city this year.
There are young people in Iran who are waiting and are hopeful. Of course, we know that you are not going to get peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn warning against Iranian nuclear capabilities as Israel's mission hinges on destroying them. What we know about Iran's most heavily next. Plus, a new blow to a struggling DNC as two prominent members quit. How their exit is causing more upheaval for...
I might have to switch it to this channel. That's one. Going back here. I just want to open a new tab. Okay, but it's just getting everything in this tab. Alright, PW. Live right now. Let's see what this guy's doing. Alright, man. PW, he looked like he took longs on the NASDAQ. What's his position? 2209. I mean, 22,099 entry. Stops at 2268. Risking About 23 piece. 17 contracts. 17 contracts. I really just want to see if he's trading open range. Like it's his orb up. Top of the is 22,110. His entry's 22. His entry is 22,000.
Can you take me higher? We need that song right now, boys.
My boy PW.
The market
Gotta check on the space here. I'm doing it like a 90s DJ right now.
it right now. There's only one song for me, boys. Ooh.
Gotta love the space, man. Get my boy. He in 22,099. What was the top of OR?
Top of OR was 22,110. So he's damn close to it. 10 points off of OR high. And it looks like, bro, he's probably been in for a minute, honestly. He stops at 68. Since it crossed OR, that's the lowest it's been. 68. Somewhere in 70. So.
Cool. Asia High just got rejected on all products.
Today. It looks like the strike. I'm also just looking at sort of some news reporting coming out of Israel right now. It seems.
Let's check on
moment Israeli occupation. Okay, let's try to get this actually to function. It's fine here. Let's see. Israeli ambulance 4 injured as they headed to protected areas.
Check on my boys at Tradeify, man. I love when a prop firm is live, 'cause you can always like tap in. Check on these boys.
Or like you code for the free account. Congrats, guys.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Boys got the lo-fi going. Shout out the team, and I like what they're doing over here. All right, so they're pretty much break even. They took a small loss, break even across over there. Yep, traders aren't doing much.
Yeah, break even.
Break even, small red.
Marianne's plus $14.
Plus $14, and that's pretty much flat for Nate. 217 loss.
Yeah. Everybody's break even.
All right, cool. All right, keep them boys rolling. All right, back to Kevin. Make sure you're abreast of the news. Over here, guys.
They'll get trapped.
Take a look at this chart real quick. See something here. Yep, price just got that sell candle. The sell's following through. Entry still around this point. Yeah, man. Nasdaq's following through with the sell. YM. It's looking good. 10:57. Bro, I got a full hour. I'm off for the next. No trading on Fed days. I'm off tomorrow, and I'm off Friday for Juneteenth celebration. So, bro, I'm here till 12.
Off Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow Fed, Thursday Juneteenth.
And then we're back.
Then we're back Friday.
All right, cool.
Yeah. No trades taken this week. I'm flat for the week. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Let's watch this news. We watching price, man. If we can get to this 50.45 area, then we looking to attack, man. We'll be trading in a 100K funding account. Tradeify right here, man. All right. Gotta love it, man. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We here.
Here. Yeah, 8 to 10 rockets looks like was the last volley. Jeez. What a mess. Okay. Somebody in chat's like, talk about house hacking. You know, I don't know if people always want, it's like, what do you want me to talk about with house hacking? It's so straightforward. You know, you buy properties, you fix them up, you rent them out. Like, it's honestly, it's not very clickbaity if you think about it. This guy spreads like nothing but pro-Israeli stuff. Be careful about what this guy's posting. But he's like, Tehran, everyone has fled. I mean, I do believe it's probably going to start looking like COVID over in Tehran. Okay, so Business Insider is reporting the Tesla news.
But I hop back over to PW, man. My boy just got stopped out. That Long is in. Checking on my trading community here, man. You hear me?
The chop was real today. It is what it is. You take me higher. And we're probably going to get stopped out here.
No, he's still in. My boy's still in, down 7K right now.
I feel like 60s.
This like makes me feel good being flat. Because I was even looking at a buy on that 60-80. Even though it went on my plan, that's what saved me. But that high buy is nothing but supply up there. My boy just dropped his stop. Ooh, never do that. That's a no-no. That's a no-no.
He dropped his stop by 20 points.
Dang, so he just went double R.
Yeah.
That's straight. Instead of 1R, he just went 2R for the win. Sometimes you gotta believe in yourself like that. You know?
A lot of the time.
Most of the time. Especially during the summer, because you know what it is. You're going to get wicked out on some chop shit. For me, it's like I ain't got my pockets ain't as deep as this nigga for sure, so I ain't finna be moving my style. I can't move my style. I'm already risking the max. I just up risk. That's why last week was kind of crazy. Just up risk. Took 3 L's in a row, man. That was crazy. But it's all about risk management, because even with that, I still got multiple shots in the 100K account. You feel me? Lost some combines, but for that's why you always keep combines going, just so when market conditions switch up, you be bringing on leverage like it's nothing. But yeah, see, that's a smart move. Look at that. See, it went to that liquidity. Let's look at the price. It looked like it might have found some liquidity. Or just found some nigga stops.
He dropped it. He pulled that up from Twitter.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, bro.
My boy Fashion wheeling it just. Oh man, y'all gotta see that, man. Hold on. Look like he peed on himself a little bit. That's so funny, cause bro, literally, I go through coffee spills like.
It's not a day if you don't spill coffee.
It's not a day I don't spill coffee. Like I show you my Asics right now. There's nothing but coffee stains on them bitches right now, man.
It's horrible.
Oh man, gotta love it. All right, cool. So we still trading under Asia high, London high. This candle, it looked bullish on his screen, but that shit is very small. That shit ain't really doing nothing. And it just opened, so it's making a wick to the top side. So yeah, we might have a trade by London close. I'm not gonna lie. London close been dumping shit.
Yeah, is it 11 yet?
It's 11 o'clock right now. Got 30 minutes left. Can you watch the 5-minute chart? Just in case we get some crazy shit happen on London close, then we can catch the 5-minute change of move on the level.
I'm like 5 minutes across.
Alright, cool. For real. So ideally, if I'm gonna catch a trade within the next hour, I need price to continue this downtrend. Let's go down. London close is that yellow line by London close. Hit this area, and then we will take the retracement back up and possibly back up and through. Stop out all the longs. That's on the NASDAQ, but it's the same situation here. So, and it's good because these are kind of getting back in symmetry. But you see from my sell point, sell down to London. Then we get a nice retracement back up to at least the highs where we've been. That'll be my TP1, and then TP2 will be yesterday's high. You feel me? So that's really what I'm waiting on. If that don't happen, then I ain't putting on no risk. You feel me? I'm at the point where I'm risking like 550, 600 a trade. So every trade got to be meaningful. And when they are, I'm shooting like a 70%. So it's getting closer to that. And looking at my charts, you see it's no orb, no ORB. You know what I'm saying? I took the orb out just because it's a 15-minute signal, and it kind of was tripping us out. But if the orb was here, it would be a low of 56, and a high of 72. Jeez, a big orb.
Big orb today?
Not too crazy. Not too crazy. But
oh.
What's up, my brother?
Yeah, we looking for longs, brother.
Looking for longs, but it's gonna be at like 60-40, bro.
You live on YouTube right now too, Max, man. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear
my
from you.
boy.
Shout out my boy Max Woods in the Discord, man. Fun Detroit.
Yeah. I had to take a break, man. I had some personal stuff. Oh no, it was interfering with trade.
No, that's good. That's good. At least you know when you got to take that break and you got the discipline to take it, bro.
Yeah, for real. And you ain't missed shit for sure.
You ain't missed nothing, bro. Marcus has been trading so bad. Me and bro took 3 L's in a row last week. Lost 1,500.
Live, bro.
Live, yeah.
Yeah, I took a bad L when I had that shit going on. I was like, oh yeah, I can't trade while I'm doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I feel you. Nothing wrong with that, bro.
Yeah, for real. At the point that we're at for real. It's just gonna always be here. So it's like,
yeah, and we had a crazy week last week too, but we traded through it, and that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I had a crazy ass week last week. I traded through it and I took 3 L's, so that was just icing on the cake going into the weekend.
Yeah, it didn't help anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we looking for longs, my boy. We giving it, we got another hour. So.
Got another hour. I wanted to pull back a little bit more, at least to like Asia London low zone. It's like that 45-50 area.
Your boy PW's back in the green.
Back in the green.
Back in the green.
And what? Yesterday's move was a continuation from Friday's reversal back into the range.
Yeah, bro. It all happened overnight too, because by the time I was looking to buy it, we couldn't even get a trade yesterday. I didn't even take a trade yesterday.
Yeah, and it's looking like the same today. Have you been checking out London?
But I haven't been entering. I just been seeing if it's been manipulated or not to make a decision in New York.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
We've been really paying attention to that too. Well, I think last night. London took out Asia low last night. And then went back in.
Yeah.
It's been going up since.
That might be the lowest it's gonna go. It went back into ORB, gave 3 crows. This candle continues. It's be pretty bullish. Back over
one high retest too.
Closing back over London.
If it gets over 78, it's gonna go to 98, but it's not necessarily a breakout.
Nah, it's not a breakout either because it's still in yesterday's range. So, but that's like a 2-to-1 opportunity. Do I want to put on full risk? Close to 12 or, I guess 2-to-1 full though.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah. Another candle of this next candle at about 11:30. We're taking over 78. It's gonna make that move to 6108. I think.
Alright, we'll see what happens. YM definitely did it though. YM already gave us a green candle on the 15, and fucking is stretching. That's what we're at.
I see it. I need to make sure I got one of those.
Yeah, I got away from Monday's high. Shit, way up at 43,060.
On the MYM is at
You gotta get your trade today and tomorrow because Thursday and Friday gonna be low probability due to bank holiday. Thursday and then Friday just gonna be a joker off top.
Yeah.
How you feel about FOMC tomorrow though?
With the rate decision?
It's gonna make the higher low of the week. So 30 minutes after release, you could look for a play. But I'm thinking like towards the upside. It's gonna do like a huge dip low, going back into the new week opening gap, and I would like to see a reaction from there.
Alright, cool.
Bullish reaction.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll just be watching. I ain't gonna trade the Fed day, and then we're off Thursday, so my next trade day will be Friday. After today.
Friday's gonna be.
Friday's gonna be The niggas are gonna be on their boats and shit. Yeah, Friday been working my ass, bro. Last Friday was hideous, man. We've been dealing with bad position though. Dealing with we took ORB.
The timing in the market, I finally seen what's going on. All the moves are like delayed.
Yeah.
Like when you see a certain stuff and it's supposed to happen, it's like delayed. It happens overnight or the next day, and it's throwing you off.
Yeah, bro. That is very true. The timing.
Slower pace.
Yeah. You end up one step off in a bad position, bro. We were getting stopped out like 30 minutes, bro. 40 minutes.
You don't realize that like the move's not gonna
You get
happen.
stuck in that cycle. Like if you don't like I'm saying, if you don't realize it, you can get stuck in that cycle real bad.
Real bad, bro. Yeah, so we took ORB off our shit because it's a 15-minute signal.
Bad signals.
So it'll have us in bad position. We took that off, so mainly we're leaning on the